Within just a few months of when the Roman Catholic Church released their statements on justification in 1547, Calvin responded in print with point-by-point refutation. He called it the Antidote. And he not only rebutted their pronouncements about justification and the nature of faith, but he also delivered one of the most scathing statements about Rome, the papacy, the priesthood, and their doctrines ever found. Now, I have to tell you, no one could insult the Pope like Luther. No one. Hands down. But Calvin gives it a run in the Antidote to the Council of Trent. And I tell you, we're weenies. We don't know how to insult anymore. Listen to some of the things that Calvin says in this Antidote to the Acts of the Council of Trent. And he'll just be riding along and he'll be doing a doctrinal refutation and he just has to throw one in. It's glorious. Listen to some of these. Calvin says, these addle-headed monks are intoxicated with ambition and alcohol. These blockheads find human merit in the free gifts of God. These popes are no fitter to execute the office of episcopos than hogs are to sing. But then he really warms up. When he's refuting their doctrine of baptism, he says, with bacchanalian fury, they belch forth their anathemas against anyone who omits the chrism, the candles, the salt, and the spittle. These are all parts of the historic Roman Catholic act of baptism, not knowing that baptism consists in the simple washing of water. Speaking of France, he was a Frenchman. Speaking of France as representatives to Trent, Calvin said, both of the French bishops are so dull and unlearned. The Bishop of Clermont is as ridiculous as a buffoon and so driven by his libido that he tracks out whorehouses like a pointer. Then Calvin mentions individuals who were on the Council of Trent by their order. He picks them out by their order. So he says, Marianus the Carmelite, I will hardly rebuke since we expect nothing from that fraternity of beggars. And then of Ambrosius the Dominican, this is my favorite insult, always is blowing his cheeks. He was so disgraced by Luther 20 years ago, he's been in hiding ever since. Most didn't know that his putrid carcass was still breathing.